Somebody's got a bad hum. Oh, I guess it might be me. Where's my video? There it is. Is that it? There it is. Hey, we're off and running, aren't we?
Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy Podcast, a Washington football podcast by fans for fans. With your hosts, Jesse Martin.
You want to play what? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
John Taylor.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
And Keith Gray.
The King, your Majesty.
And now here's your host, John Taylor.
Hey, that's me. I'm John Taman. I am your host. Damn, I scared Jesse flat out of a nap there. Look at that. Did you see him jump like that? So, yeah, you know what? We're fresh into our off-season mode here, which means we weren't going to do a podcast for another couple weeks. But damn it, there's nothing ever stops with the frickin' Commanders and Dan Snyder. So, with that said, welcome to my good friend, Jesse Martin. You're looking good, dude. You look like you lost about 25 pounds.
Yeah, I was right up there, about 26, actually.
Wow.
So
No shit. No shit. And you're doing this just eating nothing but things you find on the floor and
it's twigs and berries, man. Twigs and berries.
wow, that could have some connotations. Anyway, Scotty, our good friend down there from Barrow and Furnace, UK, Scott. I don't know why it is. All the time, whenever I get ready to say your name, I blank on your last name. So I always end up saying Scott. So
Don't worry at all. It's fine,
all right.
honestly.
Choose on faultlies.
yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Everyone knows who I am, so it's fine.
I mean, everyone does. And I'm sure that
Yeah.
includes all the people that are watching today with bated breath, hoping that Keith would be on the show. And we were too, because he said, hey, I'll do the show. And I don't know where he is. So he'll probably do his usual stroll in late and leave early. You know how he does the party, right? How he works the party. All right. So I guess we can kick it off wherever you guys want right off the bat. We were on the podcast. We were live when Bieniemy was announced as our new offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So we haven't really had a chance to discuss any of what's happened since, what's been said since. There's been a couple of minor signings here and there. They put the franchise tag on Daron Payne. Dan Snyder's fuckery just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. So
It's amazing, isn't it? Like it's like,
Jesus Christ, it never stops, man. So, he's going to be voted worst hairstyle at the owners' meeting. You watch. Anyway, that's something nobody even bothered to mention is how Dan fucking seems to have lightened his hair. What the hell's up with that? All right, so
Just
anyway.
for Men's a great product, John. Other products are available. We are not endorsing that.
I guess so. You know, it's all the traversing the ocean on his fucking luxury yacht. He's out there in the sea air and the salt spray. Hopefully,
Hope he gets scurvy and fucking dies. But there you go. Anyway, moving on.
scurvy would be good. I was thinking more like, swept overboard, lost forever. That would be kind of cool too.
I did just see a tweet from our friend Dan Snyder's yacht. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. That Twitter account. That Jerry Jones and Jeff Bezos planes just met up in St. Martin's. So
really?
So maybe, just maybe, they're trying to come up with formulate a plan so Bezos can make a bid on the Commanders.
So, goddamn it, you mean you're telling me that if I want me a goddamn pizza, I can order it on your website and it'll be in my house tomorrow? It'll be there tomorrow.
There you go.
Anywhere I am on the world, even if I'm on my ship way out in the middle of the goddamn nowhere between Pago, and San Diego, I'll get my package. This is amazing. You got to be one of the owners in the NFL. Say, let me see, how's your wife look? Actually, that's one bone I'd have to pick with Jeff Bezos. He did have a halfway decent looking wife, and he dumped her for just gave her $1 billion to go away for a woman that I wouldn't even think was worth.
But the woman likes football.
That's a plus. All right, so now that we've gone completely off the misogynist end, and I hope everybody realizes I'm just making complete jokes just to see how everybody likes to react. Where do you guys want to start? I'll let you pick.
Well, let's start with Daron Payne real quick. Let's get that franchise tag. I think most of us expected that to happen. It's good that it happened.
Yes.
Rumors were swirling last year. He was kind of dangled out on the trade market, and people were coming up with maybe a 3rd round pick. And to be honest with you, I think his play on the field, even if it just for this year, I think it warrants more. It's worth more this year than a 2nd round pick. I honestly think, and yeah, we'll get probably get a comp pick, 2 years down the road, but this year's important for this coaching staff. So why, unless a good trade offer comes in for him, the play on the field is more important, in my opinion.
Scotty, what do you think?
Yeah, it was odd timing to get it done at 3 a.m, but it's one of them where it was the first franchise tag of the entire NFL, and
hey, they wanted to be first or something. Did you see the report cards? I know.
We'll get onto that. I'm sure we'll get onto that.
Yeah, we'll get there.
It's an interesting one. I mean, it's a lot of money on the franchise tag. I get that. I'll ask this question. I'll put it out to you guys. What's your chips or percentage figure that you think either he gets franchise tagged and he plays on the tag, we get a long-term deal, which ultimately that's what I want to do.
The goal.
Because I think that the goal is that you can have probably,
and I think the team wants to do that as well too.
10 million, say, this year, and then it's the cap's not hit as hard. Or do you think they're just doing this to tender it and he's going to walk anyway?
Well, there's a lot of things that they could be doing it for. Sorry, it's my turn.
No, go ahead.
I'm just teasing. Look, there's rumors, and of course, this is all social media rumors. But hey, man, a package deal that gets Justin Fields into the mix here. I know that's like way out there on the scale of things that could happen. But they've got a lot of options now, and that's the most important thing. They've got time to operate. I would like to see a long-term deal done because, frankly, you used pick number 1 in 2 consecutive years on defensive tackles that have been basically brothers now for about 8-10 years, right? What were you thinking to do with it, right? You've developed them now. They have become the elite duo that they are. Don't break it up, right? As far as I'm concerned, Montez, he's playing fine. He's playing good, but I think I'd have to say, Chase Young, you get your 5th-year option, and Montez, it's either you better show me 15 sacks next year, or hey, just the way of the business, right?
Yeah.
On the Montez Sweat thing, I think what some people are failing to realize is he's played really well, and
he has. I'm not down on him.
If you go back to Daron Payne last year, it was like Daron Payne played well. He just wasn't getting
played great.
So close, but he just wasn't getting there. And that was the same thing with Montez Sweat. It was just like he's up there in pass rushes. I think he's in the top 5 in a whole lot of pass rushing categories, run stopping categories. He's just not getting the ungodly numbers, 13, 14, 15 sacks a year. So maybe, just maybe, he'll go out there. He's got something to play for, obviously.
Yeah.
And he puts on a Daron Payne type season and goes and gets you 14 sacks.
Well, I'll tell you, the thing is, I was listening to John Keim with Nikki Jablava, who I really like when those two are together. And she was talking about how this notion about people are able to, it's a contract year. And I agree with her that you can't just turn this on. You don't just turn that on and say, okay, well, this year I might get paid, so let me go out and get 11.5 sacks.
Well, maybe they go just work on the things that they need to work on during that particular off season, which I think that's what Daron did.
Or I think that it's mostly that it's the 4th year and things are really clicking for them. This is when they really step into being a pro. They understand their game better than anything that's going on, and he works his ass off. So, Montez Sweat, we have a good problem here. This is the thing. Everybody's going to, complain about it, but it's a good problem to have. We have tough decisions to make. It's nothing that is a surprise. It should not be a surprise. So, who's going to get it? We got the old man with the Geico fishing rod out there with the dollar, right? Almost got it there. We got him on our side right now. So, who's fishing? Who's going to jump for it?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because, we looked at it the other day. We cut, obviously, Carson Wentz. We cut Bobby McCain's savings. Maybe we had about 35 million on the cap. And once you take, obviously, Daron Payne's tag off, we've got just over 16 million left. At the moment, obviously, that's not enough to even afford Chase Young's 5th-year option. But there are cuts that you can make, restructures that you can make. And realistically, I think before the training camp or we enter training camp, we're probably going to be around about the 30 million mark anyway, thereabouts. So for me, I think this is the season where you probably look to do things internally. You sign Cam Curl now to a long-term deal. Yes. You signed Daron Payne to a long-term deal. You pick up Chase's 5th-year option and you see where you're going to go.
Yes.
What I don't want to happen this coming season, I know we're projecting and jumping ahead here, is I don't want to see us in that perennial struggle of 7-9, 8-8, 9-8, where you're always picking between 12, 16, in that range where you're absolutely mid-tier team. Either if Howe turns out to shit the bed and he's not what we thought he was going to be and the upside's still there, but he hasn't performed, you need to be at the very top of the draft, or at least have something in the bank to get you to the top of the draft. And hopefully new owner, new splash, he or she may do that in the future. And then that's where I want to be if it all falls off. And if it doesn't fall off, great. 2 years time, you're going to have to look at paying 50, 60 million for a quarterback. But we found the guy, that's the way I work.
This came up today too.
Yeah. I figured we'll get to talk about that in a little while.
For all those who are not watching and are just listening, our friend E. Templar Hunter put out here, Adam Shifty Schefter pulled a fast one. And we all know what that is by now. So we'll get to that in a little bit.
Chase Young, I do not see them giving him the 5th-year option.
Really?
And I do not, I would be okay with it if they didn't. Scott said it, man. If you sign him to the 5th-year option, that's just more money off the salary cap from the following year. I think he's got to go out and prove it this year. Now, the contract is on the table. A contract is on the table, but you're either only going to give it to Sweat or you're going to give it to Chase. I do not see them, especially how bad we know how bad they want to sign Daron Payne. Now, if they fail to get a deal done next offseason, we don't know what this coaching staff is going to look like at all. We don't, we don't know who the owner is going to be. It could be a little bit different in the story. But this problem with, and like John said, it's a good problem to have. Yeah. But it wasn't this staff that drafted all these players right here.
Right. No, you're right. Right.
And if the staff that did that was a little bit smarter, they would have probably either invested more in a quarterback, more in a linebacker, but we always knew this was going to be a problem ever since we decided to draft 5 defensive linemen, in the first round within the past how many years. So we can't have them all. And to me, Chase, as much as I have Chase's jersey, I have his black commander, as much as I love him, I don't think you can give him the 5th-year option right now.
Do you think you love him, or you're just infatuated with him because he's got those long flowing braids?
No, I love Chase. I think I still think he's going to be a absolute monster in this league.
I do too. And see, this is why I want to give him the 5th-year option. You gambled a 2nd-round pick on him, so why not just continue to ride the wheel, man?
But it's still a gamble, though.
It is a gamble, but you've already pushed the money in. Right? I mean, money, because what Scott says holds a lot of weight. But they're not done making moves, all right? And they're certainly not done making moves for next year, too. So they've probably got a bit of a plan there. They've been frugal. If we manage to make it with a 5th-round pick quarterback on that salary for a couple of years,
that's a plus, man.
That would be wonderful.
That's a plus.
Yeah.
I'm just, we do have other holes that we have to fill, guys. And listen.
So do you see a potential to trade down?
That is definitely on a table, and I'm gonna tell you what, right now, if they don't see an offensive lineman they want at pick 16, they are not picking a fucking linebacker.
What about a cornerback?
So
there's a lot of good
offensive tackle or cornerback that they like. That is absolutely a bona fide starter. They're going to probably trade back. No, they're not going to get a tight end. I'm sorry. That's not going to happen.
You don't spend that kind of
fuck up about that.
You don't spend a pick on a 1st-round pick on a tight end.
That's just ridiculous.
Whether you like it or not, because even with the slotted rookie contracts, the 1st-round pick is a 4-year expensive contract. We're right now talking about Chase Young, who has barely been able to show us what he can do because of a fucking injury that he got. And we're talking about cutting him loose because we can't afford the cap on the 5th year of the rookie deal.
Yeah, picking a tight end in the first
cheap.
round is a straight luxury pick. Okay,
Right.
We can't afford a luxury pick right now.
Or he's either that, or he's got to be. It's Rob Gronkowski sitting there,
and you don't know.
And you just don't. Yeah,
you don't.
Cole Turner, listen, he's coming back from an injury.
The guy from Notre Dame, he's great.
Is that Mayer? Is it, or is that Kincaid?
But I think it's Mayer. We can't afford to pick a tight end, especially when we have a room full of tight ends. We don't need them. Right. It's the last thing on the list of needs that positions that we need. So I every day I see tight ends. What are you guys talking about? It doesn't
because they look at Travis Kelce. They look at Travis Kelce in Kansas City. All right, but how much of Travis Kelce is Travis Kelce, or how much of Travis Kelce is them scheming him open? And
how many Travis Kelces are there in the league? Not very many. That it doesn't happen all that often.
Two. You have both. You got to find a guy whose last name begins with a K.
You have Kelce. You have Tony Gonzalez. Those types. They just don't come every draft pick. It just doesn't happen. So people got to get over the tight ends.
I'll put it out there and say there's probably 3 elite tight ends in the league, and you're looking at Andrews at Baltimore, you're looking at Kittle, and you're looking at.
I would just say, Kelce. As far as elite,
Kelce. Thank you, mate.
I may not go Andrews. He's maybe in that next tier, but Kelce and then Kittle. Yeah. But Andrews is good, though. He's very good.
Let me throw a free agent name in there, and the Mike Gesicki.
Listen, I mean, we have a Mike Gesicki on roster right now and a Logan Thomas.
We hope so.
He
can't stay healthy, though. I would like to see what happens if a quarterback doesn't overthrow him by 50 yards.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Don't make him pull his goddamn abdomen muscles trying to catch a pass.
But we also have 3 young bucks that showed a hell of a lot of fucking promise. And we all know anybody that has sense, knows it takes time for tight ends to develop.
That's right. You got to walk on the treadmill for a long time. Trust me, my ass looks terrible. I've been running. I've been trying to do squats and things like that. But it takes. All right, that was a terrible joke. I'm going to get another beer.
But you have to remember as well here that we've got, as you said, Jesse, we've got 3 really good tight ends that are young and up and coming. We've got Hodges on the practice squad who never got a look in and was really well talked about. Amani Rodgers looks decent enough. And John Bates regressed last year. He regressed so much that he'd gone from the best pass blocker in the entire NFL to be at tight end to being mid-tier. And whether that was scheme or whether that was injury. And then you got Logan Thomas on top of that as well, who is our red zone threat, and I look at it and I think to myself, it's a good room. It's a young room, but it's a good room. And whether that's just, I don't know, scheme or whether they just all dropped off. They were all injured at some point, last season. So
listen, you fix the O-line, you're going to fix the tight end room. That's
correct.
And anybody with sense can plainly see that. Hunter, we appreciate your comments. Chris Cooley was drafted in the 3rd round, my man, not the 1st round. Just letting you know. Listen, we have it showed between Martin Mayhew's comments, Ron Rivera's comments. They like the tight end room, and so do I. I think we need to give especially these young tight ends a chance to develop. And they've had, last year it wasn't very good. Our tight ends had to stay in and block because the O-line was so bad. And when they did have the chance to go out, I mean, you saw Heineke just overshoot the tight ends by 50 fucking miles, man. It was, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. And that contributed to their even poor, the poor play. That's everybody said thinks our tight ends suck, which wasn't
our quarterback sucks and our offensive line sucks. And I know you guys have been talking about that while I've been up.
Yeah.
But look, the fact of the matter is even the good passes that Taylor Heineke threw for touchdowns to Thomas made him jump fucking 30 yards in the air and pull every muscle out of whack just to go get it. So I want to see. That's the thing I liked about Howell. And I'm not. I mean, I'm in. Let's go with him in. See what he's got. I mean, unless Bieniemy decides to make some huge move or this prank by Schefter. Oh shit! Lamar Jackson to Washington. By the way, Adam Schefter.
Sorry, Hunter. I misread Hunter's comment. I thought he was saying Chris Cooley was a first rounder, and he was asking if
he was a
Chris
third
Cooley
rounder.
was a first rounder. Yeah, no, he was a third rounder. Sorry about that, buddy. Okay, let's move on.
We get smart people in here, dude.
It was funny that
Adam Schefter, what a dick, man.
Adam Schefter clip, and then PFT like just clipped it out just so and put it out there, and Twitter broke down obviously, and Twitter does what Twitter. Lamar Jackson is never stepping foot in the home locker room of the Washington Commanders. Let's just get over that right now.
Oh, speaking of which, the grades came out. All right, since you've already brought up the locker room, so we might as well segue right into the grades because, okay, this is the first time I think that they've done this, right? They interviewed something like 1,300 players, is what I read.
Yep.
Yeah, well, they do this every year.
Players in the league.
They do this every year. I think they've done it for the past like 5 years, but they haven't really made it public. But yeah,
well,
we
I'm glad that they did, because this puts more pressure on Dan Snyder. Because, dude, we get F- across the board except for their strength coach, right? And that's about it. So I got some pictures here. Hang on a second. I got to figure out how to use this damn tool again. But we've got some insider shots. Like this is the trainer's room. This is the stuff that they put in the brochure when they're trying to lure free agents in. This is the luxurious trainer's room that they have. So, all right. And then you can step outside of this place if you've got something going on and walk over to where they've got the locker room facilities are located in this luxurious building that they see here. Oh, here you can see them installing the new whirlpool. So that's cool. Right.
I mean,
the locker room, it's okay.
Look, let's face the facts, though, and I'm not like backing the team, but if you look at these rankings, though, I was sitting there looking at it, and you notice that the Super Bowl champions, 29th.
Yeah, the Chiefs are like 20. Yeah, they're like 27th. The Patriots are ranked low.
Yeah, so I don't know how.
Rick Snyder said he had a video. It's not so bad, and I'm thinking, well, probably not compared to. Most places, but I can also remember Tom Lavero, which let me see what we got here. I mean, do I still have him on here? Do we still have his phone number? We do have his phone number. Let's call Tom Lavero on the phone and talk to him about the Redskins locker rooms, because he's had some things to say about it. So let me just pull this up.
Can he even walk that far from the parking lot to the locker room without having a heart attack?
I don't know. Let's give him a try here.
Harsh. Jesse. Harsh.
Hello,
Tommy.
Hey,
how you doing, buddy?
It's all right. Hey, listen, give me a second. I had to get up for the phone.
You gotta catch your breath.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, sit up out of your lazy boy chair to catch your breath.
Christ. They used to make these things. They need to make them with a damn remote.
Listen, I got a question for you. We were just talking about the Redskins, or excuse me, the Washington Commanders. They just got ranked the 32nd out of the 32 teams. Talk to us about that locker room.
It's absolutely disgusting. Listen, let me tell you something. For one, the doors are way too narrow. I can barely get in there. It's awful. I try to get in there to interview a player, and they try to say, "Hey, Mr. Lavero, you got to butter your goddamn belt to get through there." And they're making jokes about me, but still, it was built for people in a previous age. And I mean, when I say that, I mean the Stone Age. That's what I'm talking about. The lockers don't have any locks on them. They just keep a dog in there. And, the little son of a bitch, if anybody drops a hot dog, he's on it quicker than shit. Frankly, I can't get at it with my grabber.
All right, when you're talking about food, they also got ranked pretty far down there in the diet, or the dietary needs and food.
Yeah.
So
they got all kinds of broccoli and shit. Who likes broccoli and cauliflower?
I know you spend a lot of time in the cafeteria, Tom. So tell us, what kind of things do they have there to offer?
Well, I tell you something. The one thing I really liked about the commissary that they had down there at Redskins Park was that they always had lots of what I call the 3 Fs, right? You got your fried chicken, you got your French fries, and that's all 3. So that's really all I'm looking for is the French fries and the fried chicken. And stop making it. And they made the candy machine so small that I can't get my hand in it anymore. And they won't allow me. I tell you what, I don't like it anymore. I go in there and they're offering me things like crepes and stuff like that. And they say, hey, Mr. Lavero, perhaps you'd like to try some of these bell pepper canapes. And I'm like, you know what you can do with your bell pepper canapes? Jesus Christ. Give me a goddamn can of chocolate syrup. That's what I'm here for.
Okay.
It's breakfast.
Hey, Tom. Excuse me, Tom. You need to go take a hit from the breathing tube.
Jesus
relax,
Christ.
And we'll talk to you next
God
time.
damn it. You get me thinking about the broccoli, and look what happens. All right.
We appreciate you coming on with us, Tom.
My God. Jesus Christ, we got to set something up better for this.
Tom Lavero, everybody. Tom Lavero.
Yep.
Jeez.
I like these pop-in guests on the Bleeding Burgundy podcast.
I didn't even expect we were going to have him in here today. That just kind of happened. So that was pretty cool.
One thing that
they did worry me with that. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't all F's across the board, but one thing that did worry me with this was when we read through it, you look at it says training room F-. Now I didn't know. What's that? You're failing a little bit more.
It's not even that. Okay, so now you look back at the Gruden years and you realize that, oh my God, 50 injuries a year happen on the regular, and it still happens. Not as bad, but it still happens.
Well, and then you look at it, a training staff team.
Our trainer gets raided by the DEA a year and a half ago in the middle of the season.
That's true. But listen, I will say they have made some changes. You know, they got the new indoor practice bubble a few years ago. Ron's
that was Tom Lavero taking a nap. I'm sorry to tell you. They just had the opportunity for some pictures.
Ron has spent some money doing some upgrades. It's one of those things that is with somebody with so much money problems as our owner does right now.
Yeah.
I mean, as an organization, what can you do when no one's going to sign those checks?
You know, here's the other side of it. I was listening to John Keim, and he was he wasn't defending Dan Snyder. He does say that they have put money into the fields over there, but the building is what it is. You know, unless they tear down the building and rebuild the whole thing, which is really, you're a billionaire, dude. You could do it. You instead of paying cash.
He's a billion in debt.
So well, yeah, he is now because he paid cash for that house about 2 years ago. Like, oh, look at me and my big dick. Well, you know, look at you big dick. You fucked it up now. But you could have put the money into that building. You could have expanded some of those spaces, gotten better things in there, and not look like such a cheesy son of a bitch right now.
Well, here's one, John. How about not spending £4.5 million on your plane to advertise a badge that no one's ever going to see? Why don't you put that into the locker room when it hasn't got hot water? I mean, I've been in that locker room, and to be honest with you, I wasn't impressed.
Really?
I looked around and went, meh. It's not great. It's got no hot water in it. The lockers are quite small.
Well, I guess it looks pretty shabby.
I mean, look,
the picnic table makes a nice thing there.
I mean, how luxurious do you want a locker room? Sweaty,
dude. Have you ever seen like Texas University's locker room?
No, but I've seen like baseball locker rooms, and those motherfuckers live like kings.
But what you have to remember here, Jesse, is that the people are these college students, kids are coming into the NFL, and they're coming from A-class programs where everything is there: the cold tub, the hot tub, the spa, the sauna, the steam room.
And all of that got a hell of a lot more money than
of course. And then it comes to the NFL, and it's like, what, I've got to put up with this? Yeah, mate, that's your job. But to not have hot water running is just.
They say enough hot water, and that could.
I know.
That could be a number of things that's causing that. Location, how the water set up. But anyways, I'm not making excuses, but I will say you see the likes of. Like John said, the Patriots and the Kansas City Chiefs. Like I just wonder, comparing the two, like how bad, how worse off is the Commanders than those teams that scored low too, that are actually in the Super Bowl year in year out.
I think we also have to remember it's an old stadium, don't we? You know what I mean? They're not really. It's dated.
Well,
Look, not compared to Arrowhead.
Yeah, that's
our
true,
stadium is 25 years old. I'm tired of hearing this. The fucking Coliseum
Ashburn Park is
right.
Ashburn Park is a pretty old building too.
It is, and it was state of the art when they built it. But that's the thing: the building can only hold so much. You can only do so much in the building. So you got to do some work on the building. And this brings us around to Dan Snyder and the sale and why it's not happening. And now it looks like Jeff Bezos has really kind of started to make a push, is what I saw the last thing was. And it might be up close to $6 billion. But to the people that I was arguing with about the value of the team, it's not what they say it is. I mean, they value it based on potential. And that is if you get a stadium built and if you can attract the fans back. Because I always harken back to Keith, who has once again ditched us to go out on a Friday night with his other friends. But I always harken back to him saying that this seems to him like an expansion team. And, if you're buying it, you have to look at it like that because it essentially is. And now we're talking about even more money to spend to expand.
They're going to tear it down and rebuild it. Yeah, they're going to have to stay at FedEx Field until at least probably 27. Listen,
it's only a 25-year-old building, man.
It is. And let's be honest. Dan Snyder didn't build FedEx Field.
They patched it together quick. Together. Remember how fast they threw that?
Yeah, they threw that bitch together.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, whoever the new owner is, they are going to come in here. They're going to probably sell off the land in Ashburn, which is going to make a mint. And the whole headquarters is probably going to be at the new stadium. That's where they're going to practice at. That's where they're going to, and it's all going to be state of the art, especially if Jeff Bezos. And did y'all hear today that Jeff Bezos stopped construction on the new Amazon H2O?
That's right. I called
building.
the EPA and I told them that there was some kind of stupid little minnow living down in there and that they couldn't dig anymore because otherwise it was going to destroy its habitat.
Damn it, Dan.
God damn it, Dan, you son of a bitch, Jeff Bezos. I hate that.
I think we are in the final furlong here of,
I think we are too.
The era of Dan Snyder.
I think this is. I was getting a little kind of, I don't know if it was impatience or not, but before this new article came out, before we found out that, essentially Dan took a, kind of frauded the $55 million loan. I thought this was going to drag out for maybe a year, 2 years before something happened. But now I think this is going to be wrapped up probably by March. If the sale isn't done, or at least start the transition by March, I think they're probably going to have a vote. They want other owners want Dan Snyder out.
The other thing you've got to remember here is the FBI are investigating him too. So this could end very, very badly.
I doubt very seriously we'll see jail time.
No, but this is I know, I get that. But he's $1 billion in debt, what are the debt payments on that? And it just proves what a scumbag he really is by paying himself $10 million a year, advertising
$4.5 million for a fucking sticker.
And then it's
a sticker that's fucking 30,000 feet up in the air.
Bobby, what is that?
And then you've got to think to yourself, well, he's not investing in anything else other than that. He didn't tell the other minority owners of the team who, he was a 60% owner, and he's sitting there and his very words were, "What do I need a fucking board meeting for?" I mean, come on, really?
Look, the NFL is also culpable in this little deal
absolutely.
Right here, and I'm very interested 100%. To see what's going to happen with that because Roger Goodell signed off on that loan, and I mean it's always something, man. It's always fucking. We thought it was just a quiet time waiting for something but the sale to happen, and then boom, another fucking bombshell.
Fuck a board meeting. Let me tell you something. This is my goddamn team.
Listen, I don't like to be somebody that toots my own horn. I really don't.
You love to.
Not on camera anyway. But the fact of the matter is, this is what I said was going to happen. Way back when all the reports broke about his stupid sexual escapades and his ridiculous video of, oh my I don't even want to talk about it. But I said they're not going to do anything to him about that. They're going to sweep this thing under the rug. I mean, he paid a big fine, but they're all guilty of shit like that. They're going to wait till, and when the money came, when it came down that he was monkey with the money, he's done. That's it. He's out. They're going to get him for that. They've got him for that, and now the FBI is involved. I told y'all that there's no sale going to happen till March, and you're right. This is right on schedule. Right on schedule. And, like I said, I am never one that likes to toot my own horn or beat my own drum. However, I am amazingly prescient most of the time, and I can predict the future with uncanny accuracy.
Yeah, I just don't think we've got much more of this. I mean, it started this week with the old, I want the NFL to indemnify me. I'm going to sue people. Then it's like, and then the following day,
Christ, let me tell you something. I got a dossier on all of you bastards.
As soon as
the following day,
I busted out the dictionary and figured out what that word meant, I started.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, you know. And then
Keith got new glasses. Article, he knew what that word.
He did. But high Putinus of the bottom line. That's it, John. But then the following day, we have the ESPN article drops, and it's like, this is what you were trying to avoid, It's in a footnote, for fuck's sake, of an audit. And they didn't even know it was there, and that he took this loan for $55 million. No wonder he's hired Bank of America, because they want their money back.
Yeah,
that's the point. So when we're saying
he got into with the gangsters, Bank of America.
When we're sitting there saying, look, he's going to make $5 billion, he's going to make $6 billion. He isn't going to make that at all. He's going to make probably $4 billion if it goes for $6 billion. I mean,
that's
$4 billion
in an $800
know.
million investment. That's pretty goddamn good, if you ask me.
Absolutely, yeah. But obviously, at the same time,
he's got to live the lavish lifestyle of an NFL owner for 25 years.
At the same time, the NFL, other NFL owners want this to be a record sale, to be the highest sale it can go, because you put the money in and it's good. That is good for business. It's good for their businesses as well. And as you said, John, to your point there, if you're messing with their money, that is exactly where it starts.
Right.
And funnily enough, I did see the figures as well. In the last 5 years, we've made the least money out of any NFL team going. Last year, it was 126 million we made, which was like not even, it was the next nearest team, I think, was the Seahawks, and they were like 240. We were nowhere near, miles at the bottom. And that leads me to Keith's point by saying, I feel like I'm experiencing a franchise team. An expansion team.
You're right. You really are.
I really do feel like that. I feel like the whole history's gone, and we're now in a strange world where we have this new team that nobody really knows what's going on. And who knows? Next year we could be sitting here going through another rebrand. Might happen. We don't know. Somebody else's train set. Somebody else's train set, Jesse.
Yeah, I just don't see that happening.
Well, I tell you what, I ran in this week to this is a person I do not understand for the life of me. This is one of our episodes of what the fuck are you talking about? I said I put this picture up of let me, God damn it, I'm all lost on my fucking computer here. But I put this picture up on my social media the other day, and I said a live look at the Redskins training facility. I had a different picture, and this person came back, and her name is Patty C83. Patty C83 said, "We are witnessing stage 2 of Dan Snyder's hero's journey. He's transformed into not a complete pussy. He grabs his nuts, keeps the team, brings back the cheerleaders, bans the name, and restores the Redskins to glory." I thought this person was kidding. I told them, really, you shouldn't put your head in a plastic bag. It's not a toy. It says so right on the fucking side of it. Oxygen deprivation is bad for you. I don't know, but this person is dead set on Dan Snyder and thinks that this is nothing but a bunch of hit pieces. So I found myself a genuine Dan Snyder.
Yeah, that's
spot. So
probably
if you really
Dan Snyder's
some fun
piece.
Yeah,
no, he does. Dan Snyder doesn't have. Here's Dan Snyder with Twitter.
Jesus Christ, I don't even know how to work this fucking thing. Get me my goddamn servants.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Jesus Christ, give me somebody in here that can work this fucking phone.
Anyway, all right. So let's see. What else have we got? We signed a couple of minor free agents this week. We signed a wide receiver today, I believe.
Yeah, and I'm good with that. I'm good to see Cam Sims go, because that's going to be Campson's replacement.
So give me the stats on this guy. Is he Sims like? Is he the same size?
Yeah. I think he's like a half an inch smaller, but he is a special teams beast. He's had all of about 42 yards last year, but the fans of Kansas City and the players seem to like him. They didn't want him to go. Even Jeremy Reeves also came out and tweeted saying that he was a special teams monster because obviously Reeves went up against him. This is somebody to come in probably to help with the transition of Eric Bieniemy's office that knows Eric Bieniemy very well. He's spent the last 5 years in Kansas City with Bieniemy. And I hope to see a couple more guys being plucked off that roster. I mean, they come in with championship pedigree, whether it's special teams or not. It's still, I think it would be good for EB's, to help EB with the players and maybe explain, different concepts and stuff like that. So I'm definitely good with it and excited to see what he brings.
All right. Well, Scott, have you ever had an issue with being a half inch too small?
No, you just thumb it in with a soft John. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh shit!
That was a goddamn good one. All right, way to go, Scott.
Anyway, I can't believe I just said that. Anyway,
we're bringing it out of you. Welcome to America, buddy. All right.
You haven't touched on the biggest news of the week, though, John. We've re-signed David Mayo.
We did re-sign David Mayo, and you know what?
I'm fine with that. I'm
okay.
fine.
We
as long as he's linebacker number 5. Yeah, I'm good with
special
that,
teams.
But
he
look,
was a monster on special teams.
He played very well on special teams. And we need guys like that.
Yeah. That's the only reason I want him back. I don't want him on the field as linebacker. No.
They're talking about re-signing Cole Holcomb. And listen,
I know you're going to say it's. I know you are. But
if it's on a cheap deal, that's fine. I do not want to go overboard, but we need them to go after a linebacker in free agent. See, I expect them to either that or at least draft one in the 3rd round. To have you got to be able to push these guys, and we got to be able to get faster on the field. And
look, I tell you, I don't want to
can be like 3rd linebacker. I think I'm okay with that.
Sign him to a 3rd linebacker deal, or even a 4th.
I think it's going to be that minimum is what we were talking about, John. So
that would be fine.
$3 million a year.
I'd be fine with that because I'll tell you what, I'm not trying to influence him or anything like that. But Tremaine Edmonds, oh my god,
That'd be great.
I would pleasure myself on something.
I just don't see any big names coming this offseason.
I would thumb it in.
I think you can. I think we might see one big splash somewhere along the line, but not a
offensive line.
It'll be a known player, but it won't be a absolute top tier player. It'll be that 2nd stroke 3rd tier is where we're probably going to end up. But one thing I did notice this week.
Go ahead.
Y'all may disagree with me in this, but I don't think we need any hardcore top tier players right now. I think we need to fix the offensive line. And get some solid pieces because I think the core of this team is here, man. And if we can get some good quarterback play and if we can protect the quarterback, I think the defense is going to take care of itself and play
it has
well.
Been. It's done exactly what it was supposed to do last year, which was put us in a position to win by being a top fucking defense, being able to hold teams down. Shoot, I had a point and I fucking forgot. Scott,
that was my wife, by the way. That was my wife, by the way. Just saying, I can't believe you just said that live. But anyway,
just Hunter just made a point and said a true middle linebacker, and I got to tell you, I liked what we saw.
I liked what Davis did.
Davis last year. Once
we brought him in here to be that.
Yeah, once he got the green sticker on the back of his helmet, I thought he directed the field pretty well.
Yeah.
So another year under his belt in the same defense, I'm intrigued to give him the reins and let him go with it.
I am too.
A couple of points. That's why we brought him. Jonathan Williams was signed to another 1-year deal, and for me,
Him,
that's okay. But it signals the end of JD McKissick, which is a bit of a sad situation for me. I really rated him and I liked him a lot. But
they were ready to let him go last year until they went, hey, wait a minute, what? He's out of the door?
If you cut him, it's $1 million saved on the cap, and I think they'll probably come to some sort of medical
Didn't
agreement.
They only sign him to a 1-year deal?
I thought was it? Okay. Yeah, 2. And then, the other one was, what are your thoughts on Bobby McCain going then? You mean, because the talk is that they like Percy Butler. They think he's going to come.
I'm okay with it. I think McCain played well. I saw a lot of people trash McCain, and I don't understand that. No. But listen, we got that group of safeties is one of the best positions that we have. And besides the defensive line, I think, that's one of our top positions, and they're all young, And
that's why for me,
just a few years ago, it was such a huge bust.
Yeah,
you have to sign Cam Curl. You keep Derek Forrest. And Bobby McCain came in here and did what he needed, what he was brought here to do. Yeah. He's a journeyman. He's a good player. He'll go someplace. He'll keep playing. He'll go someplace. When he was moved into the slot, he did quite well. Coming on board, he had some problems with communication, but I think that William Jackson was most of the cause of all that, or just the mismatch. I don't want to point at Jackson and say, you're a loudmouth idiot, but the mismatch of what they're expecting each other to do was just not there.
But they definitely have high hopes for Percy Butler. And,
and they're drafting
come on at the end of the year.
Right, they're drafting to do this. Right. Yeah. So why do you continue to pay for aging talent, even though he's not old, but the salary goes up when you've drafted to be able to do this? This is how you keep doing it. And they're doing all right with it. I'm all right with that. So what else do we have? I was going to say, and I forgot about it because I'm old and I forget shit. Orlando Brown. All right. We're talking about offensive linemen. Is the obvious big freaking name that's out there.
Kansas City gave so much up for him the previous year. I just don't see him leaving.
It's franchise tag situation.
If they have to, because they gave up a lot to get him in Kansas City. But there's the right tackle. I forget his name.
He's brilliant. That's the one I would take.
McGlinchey. Yeah, I think
McGlinchey
more likely to be leaving. So bring him on. Slide
move Cosby into right guard.
Slide Cosby into right guard. Now, like I told you guys before, I heard from the family itself that it was probably going to be Chase Williams. They were expecting him to leave. Things might be changing a little bit. Just putting that out there. I think they're going to see. They're going to see what happens in free agency, and in the draft. But he would probably, if he does get cut, it would be post June 1 cut, save some money. But I think we got to solidify. We got to either have Larson or Aroulier or neither of them.
I see they've been talking to Osiris Torrance, the center who's at the combine this week. They've been speaking to him as well. Sure. For me, Orlando Brown Jr., John, I would absolutely love it, but either the draft capital that you're going to have to give up. I mean, I know he's sorry. I know he's in. They're going to probably
you'd have to pay him big. You have to pay him
absolutely.
I'm
not
23 million is his market.
I'm not
value.
for it. I'd like to find our next stud left tackle in the draft. But I'll tell you, I'll throw a name out that's kind of interesting. Is Isaiah Wynn. He had a bad year last year. He didn't play well. That'll bring his price down. But before last year, he has played at a very high level. I think he might be worth taking a look at and see if we can't get some kind of a bargain deal on him for maybe a couple of years to see if we can bring somebody in that's competent to do it. Keep Leno. Let him play a backup role. I think, let him maybe spell.
Our offensive line, there's so many things that they could do, especially if they kick Cosby.
If we can solidify the center, I'd be fine with Schweitzer at left guard.
But they still have Chris Paul, though.
That's what I mean. Chris Paul's there.
We're forgetting about Chris Paul and his development, and from everything that I've heard, even from the players, that they love Chris Paul. And he just needs a little bit of work with his technique. But the guy's a monster. So
he looked good against Dallas, Jesse.
We got to get a tackle. and we got to figure out the center.
Tackle
Are we going to keep Roulier, or I just don't see it happening. I just think these
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is, because he's good. He's so underrated.
But once the legs start to go on a big man, they go, and it's unfortunate. It's just the nature.
And the
of the
other
business.
thing, I've been looking quite heavily at who potential cap casualties could be, how much money we could save here. I've studied it a fair bit. I mean, Norwell, again, you can save $2 million if you cut Norwell. Bye. Don't let the door hit your ass. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
Yeah, mate. He don't have no guarantees left. So even if you do wind up keeping, because we are going to need backups. We know how offensive linemen, they get hurt.
Oh yeah.
So if they want to keep him around as a backup, I'm perfectly okay with that, because he does have experience.
Yeah,
and Turner's got to go. Turner's
got to go as well. Both of them. I would not be surprised, as I said before on this show. I wouldn't be surprised if we see potentially 5 new people across that line.
Did you notice on Bieniemy's press conference, Sadiq Charles is sitting there. Sadiq Charles is like looking at Bieniemy going,
"Yeah, I think it's
make sure you keep me, dude."
Yeah, I don't see that.
The rest of the players sat down, looked at him, and were like, "The fuck."
What the fuck are you even doing here, man?
Sadiq was walking out to the taco truck in the parking lot and said, "Oh, hey,
as a backup, fine. As a backup, I'm good with that.
He just can't stay healthy, man. I mean, earlier in his career, when he got a chance to play, he was bad. He got roped around a lot, but he's young, and then he kept getting hurt. So, how much development could he have? That's the question I would have. How do you develop when you're constantly hurt?
I think free agency starts in a couple of weeks. Then the draft, man, and this is going to be a very intriguing, couple of months here.
So what do you do at 16 then? This is my question to you two. What are you going to do?
I go for my tackle. If I have a best tackle available, I go for my tackle or
guard or center.
Yeah.
Whatever's the best on your board. I would probably
center in the first round. Man, you better
listen. If he's a badass, this what
you better pick a Hall of Famer, dude. It better be.
If he's a badass, you go get it. But what? Look at your board. Set your board. If the board is not there, do everything that you can to trade back and acquire more picks.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, man.
Not only that, but like we said earlier, trading back into the second round. If we could get into the early part of the second round, that saves us some money.
One thing
exactly
we do
what I was going to say. Yeah.
Is cornerback is loaded in this draft.
Yeah,
you can find some starters in the second and third round. I think I would probably wait. I mean, unless a Joey Porter or for some god awful reason Gonzalez fell to 16, that's just not.
What about this?
The cornerback Witherspoon, I'd take him as well. Any of them 3. I mean, Keely Ringo had what was his 40 today?
Oh, he ran a ridiculous 40. Yeah, he
ran unbelievable. 40. So then this is the thing, you see, now the combine is on, and then the corners were today, or the DBs were on today, and now that they're running their times and they're doing their drills, their stock is going to go through the roof. This is why people were saying, "Oh yeah," a lot of them were mocking Gonzalez to us at 16. He's well off the board by 16. He is gone. There. So for me, if you've got your what's his name, Paris Campbell, I think is one of the tackles from Ohio State.
No, Paris Campbell was the wide receiver.
Yeah, that was wide receiver from Ohio State.
The Ohio State right tackle. He's a right
I saw
tackle.
somebody, the cornerback out of Alabama. Someone mocked them to us, but I think he's a later in the first round type guy. I can't think of his name right now, but listen, look, set your board. They know exactly what we need.
But don't set your board with a center at the top of it.
I'm with you, John. I think we take a tackle and we trade back. We take a tackle on the back end if there's a tackle still there. Yeah. And then in the second round, you're looking at an Osiris Torrance, someone like that who is a center and realistically will be
anybody that's got a name like anybody's got a name like a dinosaur. I am interested.
He's a bad dude, man. He's a bad dude.
Get out there and fucking wreck him. However,
do very well for us.
You did bring up that the combine was on right now, and just let me say to all you people out there on social media that keep posting these fucking videos of guys running a 40. That's awesome. It is the most fucking compelling TV I've ever watched, dude. I tell you,
it's in underwear. It's in shorts.
The combine is the NFL's second biggest television event of the year.
It's ridiculous.
I don't get it. What the fuck, man?
I think I could do it. I think I could do a 4-7
I don't know.
if you put a cheeseburger in front of me. I think I'd be all right. But,
you know, all these people are like, oh, did this guy just put himself in the first round because his reach is
that's
16th of an inch bigger than this guy? It's listen,
that's
the combine for these guys are more about the staff talking to the players, man. Because they they put what they see on film and they gauge them off the games, off the tape. Running a 40 in underwear and a t-shirt, sorry, that's just not.
It's just dressing. It's just something that they can have as a grade card that they can look at as a quick reference. But you're right. It's the opportunity for everybody to meet one another. And the fact that this is the
Scott.
I'm serious. What are you doing?
I forget who's I remember that.
No,
shit
dude.
too.
It didn't fall out. It poked out. He had a heart on. He was running down the field with it. That was free. That was funny.
And then the guys, my junk fell out.
it's a bit like you at training camp, wasn't it, Jesse?
Caught on tape. My junk just fell out, man.
Jesse, it's a bit like you at training camp with Tamarick Hemingway, the anaconda.
That's why Tamarick wasn't allowed to run. He was not allowed to run at the combine. They were like, no,
Mind
sorry,
you, to be fair,
we're too close to a fault line.
You are talking about this. You are talking about like, oh, look at this combine run. Look at this. Troy Apke was unbelievable in the 40.
Yeah, exactly.
The best thing about the Troy Apke run was Deion Sanders going, look at this.
Oh, he can run.
He can run. And it's like, yeah, we know what you're saying. So, but I'm perfectly okay with it. To me, the combine, it's not for fans. All right. And the fact that it is the second highest rated television thing of the NFL all year tells me that there are so many fucking nerds sitting there with their, let me just get these 40 times down here. Let me see. Oh my God. Let me get right out there on Instagram and give everybody my thoughts on this fella. Dude, nobody fucking cares. I mean, really, of all of you draftniks out there, there's maybe 2 or 3 of them that I listen to. And we're going to try to get 1 or 2 of them on this show. No, I love a mock draft too, but I don't play with them. I've got to say, all these people posting them up. Look at my mock draft. What the dude? I swear to God, you need 2 things: a job and a girlfriend. Get the fuck one of them. God damn it! A mock draft. Look, I did my mock draft. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna mock you for doing a mock draft. You fucking dumbass. Watch television. Do something constructive.
But yeah, we've got 2 months of these so-called experts who told us that Mitch Trubisky was the best thing since sliced bread.
Right, right.
We're going to come out with it now. Kenny Pickett's hands were too small. Oh my God! I mean,
you got your sliced bread over here, right? You got your flush toilet right here, and then you got Marcus Mariota, and he's just way up all the top of them.
Sam Bradford, he was another one that they.
Bradford.
Yeah, amazing.
Dude, you know how much money he made? Sam Bradford walked away from the league with an unbelievable amount of money. He got paid. I mean, if you look every year, it's interesting because we always look at the contract numbers. But if you look every year, they also publish who actually got paid the most in actual dollars. And it's somebody you never expect because it's somebody getting paid on a contract that they now they don't earn that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, man. He walked away with a pile of money.
The Bears gave Mike Glennon $26 million.
The Commanders gave Carson Wentz.
I know. Okay, 28. Yeah, I'll give you that.
It's Mike Glennon.
Yeah,
I tell you what. Mike Glennon. Now that you bring him up, this was an interesting story because he had red hair, right? Mike Glennon had the red hair when he was young. When he was a kid. They wouldn't let him in the Boy Scouts because they were afraid that if they took him camping, somebody would think he was a match and try to throw him on the fire.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I think he actually does have a longer neck than Davis Mills, but it'll be interesting to find out.
That would be fun. Have a neck off between those two. Neck off. You ever see that video of the 2 giraffes fighting one another? When they're throwing the ball, their necks are going all over the damn place. That would be too fucking ridiculous. All right, well, we're coming up on an hour here. You got anything that you want to close out with?
Yeah, one last thing. Then we got a new QB coach, which looks like
that's right.
Yeah, clearly
Out of college.
Yeah, so Tavita Pritchard, he's been at Stanford for 10 years. Obviously, was a QB there, lost his job in 2009 to Andrew Luck. what else can you say?
Yeah.
Obviously, quite a well-educated dude. He's 36. He's been the OC for 5 years, but he's also been their QB's coach. He's been their running backs coach, assistant. He's gone right the way through. And he also did a stint on defensive side of the ball as well. So I think it's a good hire. It's obviously a Bieniemy hire straight off the bat. I've got no issues at all with that. So, yeah, good luck to him. We don't currently have a wide receivers coach, but we'll wait to see who that's going to be.
I slightly remember him from his college days, playing at Stanford. But everything that I've read up on him, when we first hired him, I knew they were looking for a QB coach. But everything I read, seen good reviews about him. Smart guy, really good with the players. Everybody that he's coached before seemed to really like him. So hopefully he gets in here and him and Sam Howell develop a good relationship. Yeah. And I like the fact that also Zampese also got moved into a assistant role, kind of like
he got an overinflated title, Jesse.
Pretty much
offensive advisor stroke game management.
Oh, he's the guy that stands in the background going, "Hey, I think you should do this, do that, throw the pass."
Well, hopefully we know how bad Ron Rivera is at time management. Throwing flags. So hopefully Zampese maybe is up in the booth watching the film.
If that's his only job, I'll be happy.
Yeah. That's
I'm
why
I'm
okay with that.
Advisor.
I think that's hopefully that's what's going on. I mean, Zampese's been around the game a long time. He knows the game of football. So it's cool that he's still on the staff and he's took a different role.
There's been a few on the defensive side as well. It looks like everyone's been promoted one level up. So Brett Vesselmeyer is now the DB's coach.
Yeah, I'm good with that too, because they when Chris Harris left, kind of left a big hole in that defensive back room. But Vesselmeyer, being here alongside these guys, helping them grow, mature, and it's a familiar face. And so hopefully he can carry that torch that Chris Harris left, because Chris Harris was a very animated and a very good coach for defensive backs, and that's one thing on the defense that I've been kind of a little bit worried about now that he's gone. But Vesselmeyer is probably as good as anybody to take that spot.
And then there was two more there. So senior offensive assistant stroke safeties is now Richard Rogers. So he's gone up one more level, which is good.
Offensive assistant / safeties. What's he in charge of? Running out of the end zone?
Senior offensive assistant, it says. So
/ safety.
Yeah,
right.
And then
if we need to fucking give up 2 points, we call on him.
And then
what do we do? Kneel in the end zone.
And then there's another one, which was an assistant DB stroke nickel, which is Christian Garcia. He's the one I don't know a lot about, but from what I've seen, he was the bottom of the run coach last year.
I think he supplied the shoestrings to all the cleats.
Gatorade boy.
Shoestring analyst is
got to start somewhere, mate.
I will give one more up, by the way, before we go, and that is a salute to Jerome Boger, NFL referee who's getting ready to retire. It was always fun listening to Jerome Boger call a penalty, because it always sounded to me like he just did 2 or 3 bong hits before the game started, and he was out there just saying, "Hey, you know what? That was a lot of fun on that play," and I threw that red yellow flag up in the air. And it looks so cool coming down. And, so I'm just going to say Holden, number 74, and we'll get back to the game right now.
or he's had his wisdom tooth taken out.
Right.
One of the two, yeah.
Exactly right. Jerome Boger, man, I always thought he called a fair game. I never thought he was a bad referee, but I always got a kick out of some of the things that he would say. Because I've heard him say first and down all the time. It's first and down. The fuck does that mean? I don't know. I don't know. I just said it. My microphone was still on.
I've had 4 blunts at half time. Yeah,
that's right. This shit was hitting and sticking. First down. All right. So Jerome Boger's retiring. The NFL's lost a bunch of referees. I think they've got a whole 6 of them.
5. Wasn't it 5? Something
one
like
of them flat out quit. Yeah. So I think what the referees have looked at is said, look, this rule book, we can't do this. This is ridiculous. And they're out.
I got one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're not drafting a fucking tight end. So get over it.
That's right. We're not drafting a tight end. So all of you people that think we are, start crying. What are we going to be doing? All right, so I guess I should play this music because it's time to go. We can't ever seem to get it right at 1 hour, but that's all right. We don't pay it by the hour, right? So until
overtime.
Okay, yeah, I got
appreciate everybody in the chat hanging out with us and all of our viewers, and we will catch you in the next couple of weeks when free agency starts. We'll give you a rundown of what we'd like to see happen. Yeah.
That's right.
Hey. Jesse's 24, Scotty at Scotty H84, and John at Bang Radio Hour on Twitter.
That's right. That's right. And you can follow me on Twitter, but the chances are we'll never see one another because god damn it, they have fucked up their goddamn algorithm so bad. I got an ad today for a spreader that will help me fix my goddamn barbed wire fence out on the ranch.
Well,
the fuck is that? Jesus Christ. All the cattle I keep here on my my acre that I have.
I thought it'd be emergency alarms for you, John. Help, I can't get up.
Right. I can get up. I might look like a 3-year-old when I get up, but I can get up. All right, so even though I dig this music, it is time to go. So we'll see y'all in a couple weeks.